Today I've come down to the fantastic Rycroft Fisheries in Derbyshire. This fishery has multiple lakes and all of them contain plenty of silverfish, which is what we're here to catch today. The whole fishery is expertly run and Mark the bailiff does a fantastic job keeping it in top condition. There's a really competitive winter league that runs from October through to March, expertly run by Wayne Swinscoe. This winter league is based on a cumulative weight and your best 8 results count out of 10 matches. We're almost into December now and there's already been 2 rounds gone of the winter league and the whole fishery has fished fantastic. And this is why I'm here, just to get some practice on one of the lakes that I haven't drawn on yet. Today I'm practicing on the Carp Lake, which is the first lake you come to when you drive into the complex. Looking at the results after the first 2 rounds, this Carp Lake is the lake to draw on if you want to accumulate a big weight. You've needed almost 40 pounds to make the frame off this lake, which is made up of roach, skimmers and the odd big perch. Now I've been guilty in the past of overcomplicating things, so now I'm just trying to simplify and just fish a couple of lines. My plan today on this practice session was just to fish at 13 metres in the deep water with ground bait and dead maggots for skimmers. Now this is a bit of a waiting game, you have to be patient because these skimmers in these commercials, they've seen it all before. So it's a case of picking your line, putting some bait in and then being patient until they turn up. The other main line that I'm going to fish today is at about 5 metres and just slightly angled to the right. This will be loose fed just with casters out of my hand. This 5 metre line is aimed at mainly roach, perch and maybe an odd skimmer. It just gives you something to fish for while you're allowing that 13 metre line to settle. So I'm going to keep topping up this 13 metre line just with ground bait today, because the 13 metre line, with it being further out, it's not a speed race at 13 metres, you're looking to catch the bigger skimmers, so I'm going to regularly top up with ground bait. Just like that. In the ground bait's just a few dead maggots and an odd caster, that's all. Not many loose offerings. Hopefully the ground bait will attract them and then just the odd loose offering will keep them milling around, just catching an odd fish. Whilst that's settling, we're just going to keep trying the 5 metre line. The 5 metre line is just where we're loose feeding casters, just there. Just half a dozen at a time. This just gives the long line a rest. It's very, very cold today. You can see the sun out, but please don't be fooled by that sun. It's still very, very cold. These fish are like little blocks of ice. I've got a tiny little wren just coming to pay me a visit. Here we go, get some of those. Oh, that was nice. Went straight away on his caster line. Always a good sign. Oh, it's a nice fish as well. It's caught me a little bit unaware. Chuck a few more casters, keep them there for when we go back out. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Lovely skimmer. Oh, what a lovely start that is. What a lovely start. That must be about a pound. Keeping my plan dead simple, my rigs reflect this. On my 13 metre line we had about 6 foot of water and the rig for this 13 metre line is just a 0.6 AS8. This is just shotted with a simple bulk and then 3 droppers. Aiming to fish this about 2 inches over depth for the skimmers when they move in. On this line I'll just fish a silverfish maggot size 18 to an 09 or 010 bottom, with double dead red maggot on the hook. The shorter 5 metre line is just fished with an SF2 in a 0.3 size. This just has spread shot in the bottom third of the rig. The hook on this rig is the same pattern, just in a size 20. The AS8 and the SF2 really are my go-to floats when the weather turns cold on commercials. The reasoning behind this is because you can change the float bristles on both floats. So should the light conditions change, you can just swap the colour of the bristle. Also the bristles on these floats are 1mm in diameter, so very sensitive. The stems on these floats are also made of titanium, so they sit really stable should a ripple start or the wind pick up. There's lots of ground baits on the market, and for me, when it turns cold and the water goes clear, as long as there's a tiny bit of fish meal in it for the commercials and it's dark, riddled with no large particles, it's fine to use. One little tip I can give you is these skimmers in these commercials see a lot of pellets. So I like to add just a little bit of crushed expander to my ground bait mix. I believe this holds the skimmers or them slightly better stamped fish when they finally move in over your ground bait. If you're after some great winter sport, come and give Rycroft Fisheries a go. All the lakes on this complex are stocked really well, so getting bites shouldn't be a problem even in the coldest of months. We've only fished 3 hours today because it's been extremely cold. We were greeted this morning at the fishery with a ground frost. And although the sun's been out, it's still been very cold, and I doubt temperatures have got above 5 or 6 degrees all day. I've ended up with a mixed double figure net of fish, which, to be honest, on a practice session, I'm quite pleased as I have definitely learned some things today.